Hi, I'm Claire Garvey, and this is my shop in Cows Lane Temple Bar. And welcome to Creative Generation. I've got my little cat Samson, I've got my rose oil, and all I need is my guest, the wonderful poet and singer Molly May O'Leary.
Oh my god! Wow. Come on in, come on in.
Hello, Molly May O'Leary. I feel very formal calling you Molly May O'Leary, but welcome to my shop and Creative Generation. You're an incredible poet, and I first met you, I think it was at Dublin Fashion Week. And first of all, can we just take a moment to look at this? I think you have to show that. Where did you get that fantastic top?
Yeah, so this was gifted to me by a friend of mine, and I think she must have sensed I haven't really worn it, but like I just thought it'd be the perfect occasion to wear it now today. And it's actually the merch of sort of, she writes for the New York Times. Her name's Molly as well, Molly Young.
Wow.
And
all things come in good that are called Molly, I think. Yeah. So my daughter's girlfriend's called Molly as well. So there you go. So it's it's fabulous.
Thanks.
And if somebody wants one, they can commission one from her or
yeah, I think she has a website. So you can just, if you just look up the name of this or Molly Beth Young, then it should come up. Yeah.
So how did you get into poetry? I mean, poetry, it's kind of a struggling art now. Like we used to have William B. Yeats and all the greats, you know.
Yeah.
And now we have Molly May O'Leary. So were you, as a child, were you writing poetry or?
Well, I was always very creative and kind of in a dream world.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Yeah, like I did a bit of, like I still, to be honest, I still just channel and use whatever form's appropriate. And I'm always learning. But I suppose I was very visual as a child, actually, and like drawing and also singing. Not very academic, but what happened was I became kind of academic in secondary school. Went to study law and then philosophy. And,
wow.
But I was quite driven. But then I realized somehow the child came back, but the only material I had was language.
Yeah.
And I realized I had this heart that wanted to give and to share, and I had this access to this other world. And that's how it started but that's why the poems are slightly different, but we can get into that. Like they're kind of visual and different because I'm not a poet in some senses. I'm an artist poet. That's how I see myself. I use it as a material. Do you get me?
Yes. Yeah. I had to laugh earlier when we were talking. You know, I'm going to have to bring this up now. She was telling me that she wrote a little song about potatoes when she was a little girl. And I swear to God, like, to write that. At what age were you?
I think we were like 6 and 8. It was me and my sister. We had like a sort of duo going on. Yeah.
Do you want to just say
okay,
it?
Yeah. Okay,
you don't have to sing it. You don't have to sing it.
It was basically about the potatoes that were gone off, and it was kind of like we used to write songs about things that we were opposed to around the house. So these potatoes were gone off and creating a smell, so we created a funny song.
Typical Irish household. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's absolutely, but that shows that even at a young age, your mind was.
Oh, totally. We didn't even have a TV growing up. I think that was part of it, and. I also remember just sitting there dreaming. I had this idea of, we were given a task of writing a short story for school, and I had this idea of like a rainbow and different worlds in each of the colors of the rainbow, and I was going to start with red and like a volcanic world. But I think I was a bit like that. Like when they gave me a simple assignment, I'd go so deep into it. Like, for example, for one time, sorry if this is good, but the one time with the Irish, we had to do, you know, the way you're counting people's faces, like Bert, Trier, you know, it's different to counting things. Well, you had to draw a smiley face for each of the faces. But I was drawing different characters for each face, so like intricate.
That sounds like me. It multiplies. We're sisters, really.
I know, because it multiplies, because you had 1, then you had 2, then you had 3, so that makes 5. You know what I mean? And it's like goes on. And I couldn't finish the assignment, and the teachers were like, what's going on with her? Because, you know, I was very focused, but in a different way.
But see what you've done, like you live in your own world, but you've brought that world to other people now, which is very special. Are there any poets like that inspired you?
Yeah, I think what happened to me was I studied philosophy here in Trinity, and then I went away to California, to Berkeley. I was really academic at the time.
That was a big move.
Yeah.
As well. How old were you? You were
Like
just
20, 21, 22. Yeah. But there we did like a lot of German philosophy, like Nietzsche, and we came across more poetical philosophy, and also I got really into Rilke.
Yeah,
and kind of I'm very spiritual, so it's kind of it's always those that was a big influence on me, that kind of spiritual philosophical approach to poetry.
How did you find Los Angeles? Did you find it like I know when I lived in Russia, I loved Russia. So.
Yeah. Well, I was in Northern California, and so it was mixed. I was kind of in an academic bubble, and to be honest with you, I just lived in an academic world mostly.
Yeah.
That was another form of otherworldliness to me, was just living in that world.
Yeah.
And it was just a world, like, because philosophy is kind of dreamy sometimes, so I was just going there. I'd just been through a breakup and stuff as well, so I was just kind of in that cerebral place.
Yeah, so
running a lot, and that was it. That's all I really, I didn't. But then towards the end, I did go to Los Angeles and stuff. But yeah, but just on a holiday, yeah.
I know as well, like, you've written a lot of poems about fashion,
Yeah.
and you obviously, I think you were nominated for Best Dressed in Dublin Fashion Week.
Not the only one.
I know, both of us were. So
yeah,
but you've written one about Simone Rocha, I believe. Do you want to tell me, and then maybe read the poem out? Because I know we'd all love to hear it.
Yeah, so it's so interesting, because what happened was I was teaching English as a foreign language, and I had these I just always wore I loved expressing myself through clothes, and then
no, really. You'd never tell. Go on.
I got these fashion students, and then I was teaching them, and then that's when I kind of started to be more in the world, because I curated a program for them, and I met a few designers and started writing and stuff. But anyways, I just came across I was reading Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is a fantastic book about, it's like psychoanalysis and kind of the wild depth and spirit of women.
Right, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Must check that out.
And it uses fairy tales as a type of empowerment for women. So one of the parrots is called The Red Shoes. So I rewrote this fairy tale, The Red Shoes, inspired by a Simone Rocha parrot that I saw in Ruby Ruby, the consignment store. And I didn't buy them. I'm like, now to this day, I'm like, what? But I have to wear comfortable shoes. I love fashion, but I have to wear.
If Simone Rocha is watching, maybe that'd be a lovely gift for this wonderful. Do you want to maybe? I'm dying to hear it.
Yeah, okay. So.
No pressure.
Yeah. Once upon a time, 3 days ago, there was a young orphan. She was poor and dirty, and had no shoes to support her dainty but too thin feet. Like a magpie, she had a cunning eye for shiny things, or like an artist, she had a sensitivity to beauty. She took to collecting neglected fabric which sang to her soul, which made her want to spin or laugh or sneeze and feel whole. These cuttings and stolen forget-me-nots varied from velvet to corduroy to patent shining leather, but they had one thing in common: the colour red. The red leather scraps sang of dance halls and romance. The shiny red taffeta spoke of wisdom, class, the woman she longed to be, or quietly, still more silently, between breaths and swallowed tears, lamented the mother she was too young to remember. And the old wizened burgundy corduroy was the father she lacked. This red to her was warmth, love, longing, promise, and confidence. She assembled together from these scraps of red cloth 2 shoes with a dedication she knew not whereof it came. She cherished the pair, which skipped her down the street and supported her light and now powerful body. All she had to do was look down to remind herself of her own grit, resourcefulness, and value. The red shoes weren't perfect, but they were hers. One day, a woman in a clean and tidy carriage saw the girl walking. She pitied her scrappy and makeshift shoes. She mistook her inner joy for a feral glee. She thought, this young girl is pretty, but she needs a wash. She has a somewhat wild look in her eye. Who knows what could become of her out here on the street? So let's take her in, Give her a bath and some white towels, some food and a bed to sleep on. We can help her with her education. The girl agreed, and off they went to the clean woman's house. The girl bathed. Her eyes softened as she gazed at the bubbles gently landing and deflating on the wispy hairs of her forearm. Suddenly, it was done, and the woman was handing her some clean clothes, together with a new pair of shiny brown shoes. Where are my red shoes? Said the girl. Oh, I threw those in the fire with the rest of your rags, she responded. The girl cried for days and days, but over time, with the comforts of clean bed linen and boiled chicken, she grew plump and content and completely forgot about her once loved red shoes. At 19 years old, shopping with friends, she saw a pair of red shoes in a cobbler's window. They were too expensive, but she bought them anyway. When she got home, she placed them on her feet. Her shoes began to tap, 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 as if to music. They tapped down the hall and into the street. They spun into the supermarket. They spun and tapped. They tapped and spun through parks and hills, through the dance halls and theatres, and onto stages, pushing actors out of the way. It was joyous at first, and everybody cheered. But after a year and a day, the shoes danced her to local pubs and side alleys and unwanted places, where the men jeered and threw coins at her. At this point, she felt embarrassed and tried to make her feet stop moving, but she could not get them to stop. She was exhausted from all the dancing and begged for relief. She danced to a meadow where she spun and spun, upward and upward, onward and onward, into the sky, up to a galaxy far, far away, just near here, where she met a star. The star caused her to remember her own beloved, long forgotten first pair of handmade shoes and said, "Go back down to earth. Pick a blade of grass and use this to untie the shoes on your feet. Remember who you are." She did this and afterwards went back to making her own.
I feel very emotional after hearing that. Like, I know what you mean now, but it's not just a poem. You bring people on a journey, and that's what I try and do with my art. But
Yeah.
I could see, and also the bizarre thing is, I put all this red drape today down.
I was thinking that as well. Yeah.
I literally just did that 2 minutes before you came.
Hilarious.
Honestly, has anybody ever thought of like doing a short film with these? Because
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
so if there's any young directors or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
out there, or Simone Roche, if she wants to use it for her campaign, that might, because I can see it. I can see
Yeah.
it as a film.
Yeah.
Like, have
Yeah.
you ever performed in a venue?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'd love to, like, as I said, like, I'm not specific in terms of
Still
form,
emotional.
but I'd love to get into acting, actually. It's one of my things. And someone actually asked me to be in a short film coming up. It's funny the way the universe works, like with you just putting this down. I just had this small thought, like, love to try it. And then I got this message on Instagram. So we never know. I just keep open.
Well, even you could
But-
act in your own,
On my own, yeah.
short film of the poet. Sure, you never know. We could throw in some of my red clothes,
Oh my
Simone
God.
Roche's shoes, and
Beautiful.
do a full thing.
Yeah.
So the other one that I'm very interested
Yeah.
in is, I think we first met in Dublin
Yeah.
Independent Fashion
Yeah,
Week,
yeah.
where we were both, I don't know if I said it already, we were both nominated for Best Dress. I've never been nominated for it, I'm so thrilled. But literally, how did that come about that you wrote poems for that?
Yeah, so that was exactly it. So as I was saying, I was teaching English. Then it's just, I think the universe, you just follow the you follow the joy and the bliss. And I was
It's like a snowball effect, I think, yeah.
I just was being creative with clothes, and it was maybe I didn't have another outlet at that time, but that was my outlet, and I needed it. And then my boss was like, "There's fashion students coming from Switzerland. Would you like to teach them? We think you're the one for because of your outfits." I was like, "What? I think you're teaching fashion English." I was like, "What is that?" But okay. And
That's the best thing to say, is just say yes.
I know, exactly. But so I ended up doing that. But what happened was, I had a studio visit with Leah Cowan,
Mhm.
and
Very
I
talented.
ended up beautiful,
amazing stuff.
amazing. And I ended up, I went to her studio, and this was like the first time I'd really written about fashion. Like, obviously it had been part of my life, in a huge way, but I never put two and two together. I went to the studio and it was just, I had to go home and write about it. Basically did a proposal for Fashion Week because I performed at Leah Cowan's show and I'd done this and that. So I just said, and they took a chance on me. It was amazing. So,
and I was there, and it added so much flavour to the whole thing. Yeah. It was magic. So
this was a poem that I wrote about Aisling Duffy's work, and
very fairyland.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I guess it was like, yeah, for me, I chose it for today because I think it just, I view a lot of this as, it's like a feminist project, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, but in a different way. So that's what it. Anyways, I'll just read the poem.
Yeah.
So this is it. The most punk thing is to be a girl without apologies. Our blush is our threat. My rose soft thigh and innocent tongue is a smooth and unattainable rebellion. The memory of woven lace, sun shining, floral drapes, bites of pastel candy, be mine, clean cotton like sweet milk. This is power.
I can feel the power. I'm waiting for something else to move in here. It's like, and it's so different to the last one. Like, you've brought me on a completely different journey. Like, you obviously write from what you visually see that inspires you.
Yeah.
Do you write from personal?
Yeah. I mean, I used to write a lot of love poems.
Is this the guy that you broke up with?
Oh God,
that's another story.
No, I mean, I think how I see it is, there's moments where it's like, there's this quote, I think is it William Blake, who says there's another world and it's this world. And it's kind of like, that's the other world in Irish folklore as well. It's here, it's a chalk, like underneath your house. Like it's here and not here. And just living, you get these moments of connection, and it could be connection, it's just something happens where something glimmers. There's a glimmer of something beyond.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of trying to use that nearly. At first, it was just every now and again, but I'm kind of nearly there most of the time now.
It's palpable. Like when I create as well, I can feel that as well, and it's such an adrenaline feeling, and a really special. Because it's May, the very last day in May, we're going to do
this
poem on May.
It's like a poem, and it's kind of like a blessing as well. So this is a more recent poem than the other ones. Okay. This month, this morning, this moment is when I realized why my middle name is May. This moment, gentle in its golden becoming, gradually extending, the earth opening like a bloom, nectar dripping from the stars to the seeds and back again, beckoning me once more to May. My name on the curve of a yellow rose petal. My name sliding down the back of a sun's ray. My name nestled like gloss under the pebble of possibility. I grant you find your name written or sung with glory on a street lamp or a hawthorn or a thistle. May you find yourself one day in the world.
I'm very privileged to be getting all these. I feel like I have my own little poetry section here today. And the best, most impressive, like heartfelt thing for me is that I think you wrote a poem as well about the shop. And I am absolutely honoured. And if you want to maybe share it, I can just sit here and revel in it. So Claire Garvey, the poem. I haven't heard this, so I hope it's nice. I've been nice to you, haven't I? Fingers crossed. I get nervous.
Okay, I'll go. So, twisting, picking into me, gnarling, threading into and under the caves and crevices of dreams. This is where the work begins. The hazardous journey from root turning upon seed. Only this can dress a queen.
Oh my God. I didn't expect I've got fittings later today and you've made me a nervous wreck. I'm like emotionally. That was absolutely
You're welcome.
beautiful. I
Yeah.
am honoured. And listen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Molly May O'Leary, she has me now emotionally. I need to go off and have a drink after this. Thank you so much for your incredible talent. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.